Hey everybody, welcome to Similar Triangles, and today we're going to talk about how to determine if two triangles are similar. Now, the definition of similar triangles is written out for you, and what it means is that the corresponding angles of the two triangles are equal and the corresponding sides are in proportion. That's the actual definition. Today we're going to use a little something different. We're going to use an angle property that can help us. So the angles of similar triangles is what we're going to look at. This is our rule here. And what it tells us is that in order to determine whether two triangles are similar, if two angles in one triangle are congruent to two angles in another triangle, the third angles are congruent, and the triangles are similar. So we're going to look at angle measure of triangles to determine whether or not two triangles are similar. And that's our can statement for today. So if we move down to example 1, it says determine if the following triangles are similar, explain. Well, when I look at this, I see the triangle on the left and a triangle on the right. I see a 50-degree angle here, and so that angle is going to match up with this angle. And then I see an angle that is a 75-degree angle right here. So that angle, and notice in the larger triangle there's another 75-degree angle, so those two match up. So what the definition tells us is that since we have two angles in one triangle and those two angles are congruent to two angles in another, it means these third ones have to be equal, and then those triangles are similar. So these two triangles are similar. They would have sides that were in proportion, and then corresponding angles would be the same. Okay? Now, the orange triangles here is going to take a little bit more work. And we're going to still use that idea. I'm really happy here that I have a 63-degree angle that marks with this one. Okay? But then I have a 54-degree angle here and a 63. Those don't work, and I don't know what these two are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find that x angle and see if this angle here is equal to 63. If it is, then we know that y has to be 54, right? So let's look. So we have x plus 54 degrees plus 63 degrees, and that all has to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to have x, and I'm going to add our like terms together. These are constants, right? So let's add those together, and you're going to be given 117 degrees. Okay, and that's equal to 180 degrees. By subtracting 117 from both sides, I see that x is equal to 63. So that means this is 63, so this angle is equal to this angle. So now, by that definition from above, I have two angles in one triangle equal or congruent to two angles in another one. That means these have to equal. So y has to be 54 degrees. And I could find that out. I could take 63 plus 63 and then subtract that from 180 if I wanted to. But we use the definition there. So those two triangles are also similar. So this one was a little more work. We had to find one of the missing angles. And just by inspection, just by looking at the first two angles here, we might have said, these two triangles are not similar because I had two different angles. In the last one, notice we have a 90-degree angle here and here. So they share one. And now similarly, we have one angle they share. We've got to figure out what x and y are and maybe if they're equal. Okay, or if maybe the x angle is 38 degrees, and then we can see that these two triangles are similar. So let's set it up like we did the last problem. So this triangle here, we have x plus 90 plus 42 has to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so when I simplify, I take x plus, I'm going to add these two together, and I get 132 degrees, and that equals 180 degrees. And when I subtract 132 from both sides, I get x is equal to 48. And so unlike the last example, this one's 48. Okay, we have 90, we have 42, we have 48. So this angle doesn't match, this angle doesn't match. Okay, these two triangles are not similar because they do not have two pairs of congruent angles. They only have one pair, just the 90 degrees, so it's not similar. So that's the first video here of our discussion. I'm going to go ahead and make a second video to keep this short. So if you have any questions or comments on how to find whether or not two triangles are similar by using this definition, let me know.